Good evening, guys. Here we are again, back again with another live stream. Just give it a little bit of time. I did say I was going to do it around 9. Well, it's still. I mean, it's 9, but it's 9:52. But here we are. I'm already back again. We're going to get into it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this stuff with Calvin Wilson, with GBUs, all that stuff that with that controversy, all the allegations with Dan Wootton. I haven't forgot about that. It'd be easy for a lot of people to forget with that. I mean, there are some real bad, serious stuff obviously going on in the world right now, but there's a lot of you know what happened, these things with allegations, and then there was the thing with Russell Brand, and then what happens, the Lawrence Fox crap on Dan Wootton tonight, and then there was that major distraction there, and everybody forgot about Russell Brand allegations. But I was going to get into that stuff when it comes to all that stuff with Dan Wootton. So I'm just going to get the link sent out on Twitter. Just give it a few minutes, get some people in the chat. So yeah, so I'd start. So this headline, but Calvin Robinson, Calvin Robinson really needs your help. Okay, yes, GBUs have let him go. They let him go just last week, the end of last week. But he still needs your help. He really needs money to help keep a roof over his head. Help pay the bills, and he actually needs £30,000. And he set up a GoFundMe thing. This is maybe a smaller version of GoFundMe called GiveSendGo.com. And he's looking for £30,000 to supposedly help keep a roof over his head. But this is also this other stuff here, so he can maintain his self-supporting ministry in London. But he also does have a Substack as well, where he has 7,000 subscribers. So he'll make some money off of there, I'm sure. So for me, this is just one giant grift. Even maybe I dare call it a scam. Because to me, would you really need £30,000? Okay, let's say that is the main thing. That was your main source of income, the GBU's gig. Now you got the sack. GBU's let you go. I mean, I don't know again how it works with him. It's part of this smaller Church of England thing. It's kind of an offshoot. It's like he's a deacon or so I don't know. I mean, he's not really making much money what he's doing as a deacon. I mean, it's not like even priests are going to be making super big money. I mean, it depends. It might be more making good money. In the Anglican churches, England, maybe the higher up you are in the pecking order, but he just seems like an awful chancer to me. This guy, he really is. But hi, Paul. Evening, mate. How are you? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wouldn't we all love £30,000, right? I mean, it'd be one thing, Paul, if he was asking for £3,000, and I thought, well, you know what? I get it. He's in London. The cost of living, it's very expensive to live out in London. I could maybe let it go at £3,000, right? If he was in desperate need of money. But the way it works, I mean, this is the thing, right? I mean, they probably have that thing where it was, I mean, I don't know how it works with GBUs. Again, we don't know. Was he a member of staff, or was it an ad hoc thing? Again, I don't know, but I'm certain he was making good money on GBUs. If Dan Wootton was making 250 grand a year, Lee Anderson's supposedly making 100 grand a year. I mean, I imagine Calvin Robinson was making around maybe 80 as a presenter, maybe a bit more. So he was making all right money. And I bet 30 grand though to help keep a roof over your head. Like, come on. I mean, if that's generally the case, he really needs that money and he desperately needs it. I mean, that's got to come down. Surely that must come down to bad money management, right? I mean, I don't know what's going on with him, but yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's exactly you hit the nail on the head, Paul. Most people don't even make that in a year, and he's looking for that money. He claims to help keep a roof over his head. I mean, it's shameful. It's freaking shameful. and the respect and interest, it's gone away now. You know, he was somebody I had time for, and he was someone that seemed like one of the good guys. You know, I tweeted him a couple of times. He liked my tweets. You know, not very few people do that. You know, people that are kind of like publicly noted or well known, they've never done that, but he did. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you could say it's out of touch, Paul, right? I mean, but again, it's still, that would have been about four. I bet you that was 4 months' wages. Maybe even it could have been up to 5 or 6 months for Calvin. 30 grand. Um, you got Dan Wootton, who they say is on 250 grand a year, right? Okay, Dan has been well known for quite some time now. He is kind of seen as like the front man. So Calvin Robinson ain't making the same money that Dan's making. I'm certain of that. But uh yeah, I mean he does have come off quite a posh guy, does he, Paul? Yeah, I think let me see. You might be right actually. So he's 37 years old. He went to West Nottinghamshire College, or University of Westminster. That is still known as quite one of the top like universities, right? Um, the denomination he's part of is the Free Church of England. But I wasn't really familiar with this guy until you're talking, probably 2 years ago. 2 years ago, he was apparently a video games journalist at one point. That's what he was doing. He was a teacher. He taught computer science at St Mary's and St John's Church of England School. If you go back though, he looks awful different when you see him on the show GBU's 2 years ago. He grew out the hair a little bit more as time went on, and it actually probably suited him better. He looked a bit odd when he was on when he was first on that show. But hey, Lenny, all right, mate, how are you? Well, I mean, I went to Robert Gordon University, Paul. Donald Trump had an honorary degree from there, but they removed it. After all that stuff, when he's about banning Muslims from entering the country, um, they removed they stripped him of that honorary degree. But Robert Gordon University it's known as quite a good uni for when it comes to like business school and engineering. It's known as one of the more modern universities. I think Aberdeen Uni is one of the more older ones. Yeah, so this stuff, Lenny, Calvin Robinson, I was just on that. So so far he's raised £28,682, and so he's still got about another 1,000. Well, it'll be £1,318 to go. So he's almost there. He's almost reached it. He'll probably reach it in within probably 5 or 6 days, I bet. But like, what a chancer though! What an absolute chancer this guy is, though. I mean, he is someone else. And I mean, someone was it Lanny? You were saying to me yesterday, you were calling this like another like an Alex Belfield. Like Belfield was a big grifter as well. He scammed all his followers out of a lot of money. I think he was even asking for more, was he not? Or was it around the same amount, about 30K? But yeah, got a funny vibe off of that Alex Belfield guy. I mean, I watched some of his stuff. It was somewhat funny, but I was never a weird one. And when you see that video of him trying to do like a Jimmy Savile impersonation, very strange. It was almost done in like a complimentary kind of way, I felt, but towards Savile. And speaking of that, that program's just been on right now, isn't it? Called The Reckoning. I've got that recorded with Sky Plus. I'll watch that later. Right. So I was mentioning that stuff then. So Dan Wootton, Dan Wootton is still suspended from GBUs. Daily Mail terminated his contract with them. He did it. He wrote a column. I believe it's twice a week for the Daily Mail and Mail Online. Well, I mean, are they making money, Paul, or will not money, almost a lot of the money or all of it, be going to the victims and charities of this stuff, like in relation to like people, survivors of sexual assault, child abuse? I'm imagining a lot of the money raised for this will go to these type of causes, right? Uh, then he was in that BBC bubble in that world, right? Uh, I mean, Belfield probably maybe what they let him go and he just could never get over it, right? But then there was some creepy things, right, of how he stalked people and would find their Facebook profiles and like would he not like message people photos and like say, "Oh, this is the oh God, I know your wife, I know your child." Like he was pretty messed up, like Then he had a few people that came to his defense, right? I think was it Katie Hopkins? Wait, Katie Hopkins tried to defend him, but it's no worries, Paul. But yeah, I mean that stuff though. So Dan Wootton, I'm reading here. This is a few days ago now. It says here, this is the Byline Times. Disappearing Act. Major publishers, including Guardian and Mirror, delete stories on Dan Wootton police investigation after legal threat. It says publishers and members of the public were threatened with exemplary damages and punitive costs by the presenter's lawyer, but Byline Times stands firm in its reporting. So it says major newspapers, including the Guardian and the Mirror, deleted their reports that suspended GB host Dan Wootton is now the subject of a Metropolitan Police investigation, following allegations revealed about the presenter in a special investigation on by Byline Times. The newspaper exclusively reported that Met detectives from the complex investigation team of the Force's Central Specialist Crime Division are looking into serious allegations relating to the obtaining of sexual images by deception and blackmail by Wootton. A Met police spokesman told Byline Times in June 2023 the Metropolitan Police was contacted with regards to allegations of sexual offences committed by a man aged in his 40s. Officers assessed all information available to establish whether a criminal offence has taken place. We can confirm that investigation has now commenced into these allegations. Detectives will continue to liaise with the complainant to establish the circumstances. There's been no arrests and inquiries continue. So I don't know, Danny boy, he might still be all right. I mean, this is the thing I feel about Dan. I mean, stuff there about removing the articles, the press, legal threats, Dan's lawyers. It doesn't surprise me because I feel that Dan is very well connected. He's going to be lawyered up. I don't know if that's just connections from his entire career, or that's maybe it's the people, the GBU's people are kind of like with Dan, hey, don't worry, we got your back. We'll get you through this stuff. I mean, they kept them on air, right? Everybody else knew about all this stuff with the allegations. Daily Mail at least did something about it, suspended him. Again, was that done because they felt that was the morally right thing to do? No, they might have thought, well, you know what, it would be in your best interest, Dan, not to do these, do these whatever it is he did, these columns and these articles crapping on Harry and Meghan all the time, and hey, they've got their own issues, right? But I mean, the thing is, Daily Mail, they can do that thing where they can block the comments, but it would have been one of those things. The comments are open, and Dan Wootton's got an article, and all this stuff's out. It would have been, let's be honest, 98, 99% negative comments towards Dan. But Daily Mail at least did something, though. If we take that at face value. But it says, although Wootton has never denied being connected to the false online identities of Martin Branning and Maria Joseph, yeah, he has never flat out denied this and made it clear. He denies any criminality. So, yeah, this is classic. This is what the lawyers will tell you to do, right? To be super ambiguous with this, right? The Guardian, the Mirror, several other Reach titles, and the News Quest and the National in Scotland reported on the development, but soon deleted the articles. This followed a legal warning issued by a lawyer representing Wootton. Readers attempting to access the removed news stories were met with an error code at the original URLs. Can you believe that? Evening, Julio Cass. Hey, how you doing? I'm just talking about your mate Dan. What you saying, Paul? Can you check? We're missing Scotland for the last 6 years compared. Yeah, someone check that. I'm just reading through this stuff. You can have a look into that. Yeah, possibly the number's not as bad, Paul. It might have been very bad when lockdown and COVID and people with mental health and depression and but so where was I? Okay, just one moment. Sorry. So it says there has been no explanation provided by the publications regarding their decision to withdraw the articles, according to the Press Gazette. But a spokesperson for the Guardian media group told the industry title, following a review, the article has been taken down. Byline Times understands from a source at Reach that the decision did follow a legal threat. However, it wasn't just publishers who received notice of exemplary damages. At least two individuals with substantial followings on X received the following warning from Wootton's legal firm. Interesting. I wonder who this could be then. One of them, it wouldn't surprise me. It'd be interesting to see if she's stopped talking about Wootton, but maybe she hasn't. Carol Vorderman, she tweets a lot on this. I wonder who the two people are, though. So, two individuals with substantial followings on X have received a warning from Wootton's legal firm. The legal threat from Dan Wootton's lawyers. In Bloomberg LP v ZXC 2022, there must have been a case that went down last year. I did do common law at college, so this thing's when they have the case and the reference in the year that does come. This coming back to me now. UKSC 5, the Supreme Court made it clear that any person under criminal investigation has, prior to being charged, a reasonable expectation of privacy and in respect of information relating to that investigation. So it means we can't comment on this ourselves and do some digging and see what people have had to say on this. That's bad, right? But anyway, in publishing our client's name last night, Byline Times has breached our client's rights in that regard. They will now face the consequences. No messing with these guys, of doing so in court. Should you by 12 p.m. today not delete the offending tweet immediately and not agree to undertake not to republish these or similar allegations, to publish an apology in terms to be agreed with our client, to pay damages and to pay our own client's costs, you will be joined to that claim as a defendant. Given this clear and unambiguous warning, you would also face aggravated and/or exemplary damages and a punitive order for costs on an indemnity basis. We urge you to exercise restraint and act ethically and in accordance with the law. Should you do otherwise, you should be not surprised if you face the expense of litigation yourself. Yours faithfully, Griffin Law. So there you are there. And then they're saying, though, that they're not going to fall for these threats. They're standing up to legal threats. So legal action on grounds of breach of privacy could result in aggravated and/or exemplary damages. Exemplary damages, publishers fear, with outlets potentially ordered not to cover the legal costs for both parties. But Byline Times' own legal advice and that of other legal experts contradicts the claim that this amounts to a breach of privacy, though. The executive editor of Byline Times, Peter Duke, said Wootton's lawyer has been threatening people on Twitter with exemplary damages, yeah, I bet, and punitive costs merely for linking to factual public interest articles that detail a meta investigation into their client who champions free speech. There is no precedent for this. Editor Hardeep Mafaru described publishers' decision to delete their Wootton stories as just staggering, while Jukes added that the saga is why the story runs and runs. Each chapter just reveals more and more about the state of our media. So there you go. That's a lot to unpack right there. But well, it seems he's just suing everybody and their dog right now, Julie Cassidy. What lawyers do with these really like strong worded letters, to scare people and threaten them and to prevent them, from speaking out and speaking out, talking about all this stuff with the allegations. But I mean, Dan, I'm sure is probably lawyered up. He's you know, I imagine it'll be pretty expensive, his legal fees, and uh, unless he's got people, friends in high places who are covering his legal costs. But then didn't he have another grift where he was getting people to pay for his legal fees? How much was it again he was looking for? But then Byline Times had one as well, but they were getting a lot more raised for their one than Dan was with his, though. So what's all this stuff? Were you looking into that, Lenny, for Paul about the amount of people missing in Scotland? I imagine I mean, it's obviously got to be pretty bad in England, isn't it? But yeah, there's a lot more stuff on this stuff here, but it's all this legal beagle stuff. Wootton currently suspended from GBUs. Wootton's Mail Online has already been suspended. Well, they let him go, right? And then you've got Caroline Dinage, but then she's got all that controversy there with the stuff with Rumble about what she wrote to Rumble, wondering why, asking if they're going to basically ask him, hey, are you going to do what YouTube did and demonetize Russell Brand? She wrote to GBU's Mail Online and News UK to ask what action of these organizations have taken following Byline Times. Wonder if she's got a response yet. So I mean, it's a tough one to call though with Dan. I mean, would they sack him? GBUs? I mean, you get the feeling though that if they were gonna sack him, would they have not just done it all at the same time? Let go Dan, let go Lawrence Fox, then let go Calvin Robinson. I mean, they talk about this investigation, but what does that entail exactly? An investigation? It was like, Lawrence Fox said what he said. Who'd want to shag that? Dan did nothing to try and stop him. Was very, very half-arsed attempt at trying to, get it off topic, change it, and or at least show that hey, he didn't approve and didn't find it funny what Lawrence said. It was very awkward as reaction. But then later on, Dan does the whole thing. I'm so sorry to Ava, rah rah rah, and then Lawrence Fox throws him right under the bus and posts screenshots of the convo that they had literally 10 minutes after that segment on Dan Wootton when Lawrence said the whole "who'd want to shag that" thing about the journalist Ava Evans. And then they're all joking about, it's my mission or whatever, Lawrence to Dan, it's my mission to get you to crack up and laugh on screen. And then Dan said something along the lines of, I bet they're all going crazy in the gallery or whatever it was he said. But yeah, these guys, I mean, they've got no loyalty towards one another. They all stab each other in the back. And so I don't know what's happening now with Lawrence and Dan. Are they falling out? Maybe Calvin's, he's the guy in between, the neutral guy, would be the mediator type of that. I don't know, but God, Russ. I mean, that's the thing now. You don't hear about Russ now with all the crazy stuff going on in the world right now. Eurocast, and then there's all this stuff with Calvin Robinson, Dan Wootton, Lawrence Fox. You don't hear much about Russell Brand anymore. I think he's just carrying on as normal, doing his video, stuff that he usually does. The conspiracy type stuff. Has she been talking about that stuff with Lucy Latby? Yeah, Penny Bunny. What's her thoughts on this? She's not saying that she thinks that she's innocent, right? Or can't imagine the stats that you're asking about, Paul. They can't be good, right? I wouldn't be able to guess roughly how many though, but this is Matt Walsh. He's saying that Christopher Columbus is a great man who deserves to be celebrated. Indigenous Peoples Day is a laughable disgrace. What you guys thoughts on that? American history, Christopher Columbus. He seems to be one that's either people praise or people are real critical of. Kind of a mixed bag. Sure. Maureen, I was just about to message you, Maureen. Well, I started it in 9:50, right? Not too bad with my timing, right? Hey, how are you doing today? Oh yeah, the Holly Wallaby thing. I mean, what do you guys think of that? Do you think that's just one big like I don't know what you call that. It's all. I mean, is it all? Do you think it's all staged? It's all fake? I mean, what do you think? Is it just to get sympathy for her, get her back looking good in the public eye? I mean, so he was like Britain's fattest man, was he, Lenny? The guy. Yeah, I mean, it's quite laughable, is it? And even if it was a supposed kidnap attempt, I mean, okay, did he have people? He was like orchestrating it. He wouldn't have been actually the one doing it, but I don't know, man. I'll take. All right. Yeah, I was saying before, Maureen, the Reckoning, the whole thing, Jimmy Savile, Steve Coogan playing Jimmy Savile. I've recorded that. I'll watch that later on. Is that do you plan on watching that or not your thing? Got a restraint kit from Poundland, G. You take care of yourself, Paul. Good to see you. Catch you later. Uh, so I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, this Dan Wootton stuff, the sack, will they keep him on? What are you guys thoughts on that? Let me know. Was it good overall? What was it? Was it interesting watch, Maureen? I take it. Did he pay him a certain amount of money? The guy for the hitman or what? I mean, what happened there? Would he? But he had even had amount of money to hire a hitman. But then I suppose some people would have done it for what? Maybe a couple grand, a little more. Or Oh yeah, did your if you got issues with that iOS modem, did it cut off my stream or? Oh yeah, you change your browser, right, right. God, well, lots happened today, Maureen, in the world, but I mean, I'm not an expert on this stuff when it comes to what's going on in Palestine and Israel. I just, wish that I pray for peace, and it's just horrible what's been happening. All the thousands of innocent lives lost, whether it's in Gaza or Israel. It seems to be very much a pro-Israel stance, though, isn't it? It's Biden's pro-Israel, Rishi Sunak's pro-Israel, Trump's pro-Israel. So there's certain things that you've got, buddy. You've got the left and the right will come together on, on this. And then you'll have Iran and Syria and all the different other countries how their stance on this is just going to be one fucked up situation, isn't it? Stayed away. Try to. I just don't. I don't like to see all those images. Just thought of it very horrific. I mean, I see all the stuff that's going on in London right now, all that stuff, and there's the stuff, the Gaza, around the Israeli embassy, the people there, and a lot of cheating, and just it's not nice to see. There's some stuff about that Holly Willoughby thing though, Lenny. It just doesn't add up. It seems awful fishy. I haven't watched Penny Bunny in a while either, Julio Cass. So seeing the poor girl. Yeah, I know, Maureen. It's terrible. Yeah. There's the one girl that was out dancing with her friends. There was a video, and then they killed her. There was a girl paraded around the streets naked, I believe. It's just all you see it on the Daily Mail. It's all stuff is Israel, Palestine. They appear to be neutral, the Daily Mail, on this. You could just say they're playing both sides the way, but um, exactly barbaric, Lenny. That's exactly the word. It's been a weird one, Lanny. I mean, there was all that talk about the Israeli intelligence that something they should have known, anticipate this was going to come, that was coming, be prepared, Lanny. And it's weird because now you've got like an Israeli intelligence company. There was a company on the stock market in America, and headquarters in Israeli, a cybersecurity company, and their stock went up about 160% today. It like started Friday, it ended about 23 cents, and then it ended up closing market. I think it was 67 cents. So I just wonder what will happen. Will people who are like more like pro Gaza will they come and short it, and it'll or maybe they'll just put more and more money into this. This is what can happen in these situations, and it's so when it comes to the pandemic, and then healthcare stocks would be going through the roof, and weird times we're living in right now, isn't it? It's just been mad for the past, I don't know what, 7 or 8 years now, but yeah, how is it, Geocast? You got to come up to Scotland here, mate, one day. Remember, I told you that Edinburgh. I'd highly recommend you go to Edinburgh. Check out Edinburgh Castle. I'm trying to see if I can play some music. Let me see if this works. Might be one you like, Geocast. Heard on a Frankie set. Need more music like this, really. Start arguing with her in the housing party again. Housing party guy. So there we go. There we go. D-Bow, get involved. That's a classic house song right there. You were saying, Julia Cass, about an Alison Limerick. Um, some, what was that again? You thought that she sounded like a man. Remember that song? Was it "Right on Time"? That you're right on time. Remember that dance one? And it was like, was it a woman? But then it was like it sounded like a man, or was it like it appeared to be a woman singing, but it was actually a man singing it? I can't remember, but remember that one? Cause you're right on time. Du, 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 du. You're right on time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had heard it. It's one of those because that came out, I think, about '89. The dance version, Julia Cass, and then Loletta Holloway. Yeah, yeah. I remember Room 5, Make Love, right? That was a big one back in like 2003, and then that was the old sample of the Oliver Cheatham one, Make Love. No, sorry, Get Down Saturday Night. Um, that was really it back in 2003 though. Make Love. I mean, I was 12 years old at that point, but I love that song, and that was number 4 in the charts for 4 weeks. Yeah. Get down Saturday night. Get down Saturday night. I can't wait for Saturday to begin. And that's the one, Michael Gray, The Weekend, right? Another good dance hit. Oh yeah, I love dance music. I got the power. That was Jocelyn Brown. She sang that, Lenny. She's been on a couple of good hits. Incognito, Always There. I like Somebody Else's Guy. That's a really good one as well. Yeah, yeah, you were saying Julia Cass, yeah. You think you'd be able to interview her again? You think you'd be able to get would I if I was to go through you, I could interview her. I followed one of the incognito guys on Twitter. I think it's the main guy. I wouldn't mind speaking to some of them, to be fair, because I quite like the incognito stuff. I like the vibe, the energy they put out there. It's positive, and I don't know. I could play Oliver Cheat and Get Down Saturday Night. I don't think YouTube would hold me up on the copyright. I could get away with it. What do you think? Will I play it? Let's play it. Let's see if I can play the song. That's a good one, this, isn't it? Wait for Saturday to begin. I'm right. There we go. There we go. Oliver Cheatham, Get Down Saturday Night, 1983. What a tune, eh? What a tune. Really like that one. I still don't know if it's still overall as good as the one like um Make Love Room 5, but I still great one though. I love it. And it's, but again, it's the original. So, but yeah, what a tune, right? He's still talking about this guy Plum, Lenny. Yeah, there's just certain things that don't add up, and even my folks, right? They usually will take these things at face value, but they don't seem to believe it. That story about the whole thing, the plum, the guy, the kidnapping, and all that. Uh, Yeah, Sister Sledge, Maureen, greatest dancer. Bam, baka, bam, ba, bam, 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 ba, ba, bam, ba, ba, bam, ba, bam. Yeah, Will Smith, I remember sampling that and getting jiggy with it. Cheek, yeah, Cheek. Trying to think. Everybody Dance, that's another good one, isn't it, Maureen? And he'll still do stuff. I mean, it's like a newer version, isn't it? A modern version of Chic, Nile Rodgers, and he still goes out there though, and he'll kill it though, and when he's doing live set. But Earth, Wind, and Fire, yeah. What was it? How do you go? How's it go again, Maureen? Do you remember? 21st of September. Remember? Billy Preston, God. Yeah, I mean, I know Billy Preston for being the guy that was playing piano with the Beatles on the last album, Uric Acid, that go and get back. But I'm not, and then Don't Let Me Down. I'm not that familiar with Billy Preston stuff though. He was a bit of a crazy one. Chuck Berry, he was another wild one too, right? London Beats. I've been thinking about you. You always have to watch because YouTube will hold it for copyright. Mm, maybe that's got 98 million views. I don't know if I get away with that. I was listening to that song earlier from the 80s. You old guys know it. It's a wonderful, wonderful life. And it was actually like him. He was saying at the time he was broke, he was depressed. The guy, he was actually being ironic, but people took it as a real kind of thing, like, oh, it's a positive song. But that's quite a good one. I love an appreciation of all music for the most part, unless it's like emo shit. But apart from that, like all sorts. Something Black, you I guess. Yeah, that was his name, wasn't it? Yeah, I think was he from Liverpool? I think. Yeah, I know, I know. Was it 2016? I think. Yeah, yeah, brilliant pop song, right? I suppose you could call it a pop song, right? It has meaning, has depth to it. I need to shave my beard. It's getting a bit scraggy. Saint Germain. I'll take a note of that, Maury, and I'll look them up. Yeah, Germain with the E, right? Mm. You the grammar police, Lenny, or the letter police? I'm kidding. Jazz house fusion. Yeah, I like house. Yeah, so jazz. I should like that. Aye, that's good. Nice. Right. I'm just gonna start wrapping up this live stream, guys. If you've got any other like last questions, any final comments, just fire away now. No, I did German at school, Annie. I don't know if I know fuck all French really. I did German instead. I'm sure it's good though. I know Maureen's got good taste in music, and I'll believe her. It's probably it's decent. And I'm going to check him out. I will check him out. Right. So I'm just going to wrap this up now, guys. I just want to get go downstairs, just have my feet up, maybe just have an orange or black currant juice or whatever. Maybe I'll check out some of this Reckoning documentary. Maybe in the next live stream, I'll go into that and review that. Do that. But I'm just going to wrap this one up for now. But thanks. It's been good, guys. Good to listen to a couple of songs. But I think the Oliver Cheatham one, that was a really good one. So maybe next time play a couple more tunes. Chicane, oh yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I did that. So he did. Was it Don't Give Up with Brian Adams? I remember that one from 99, 2000 time. But yeah, so my plan will probably be I'll do a live stream. Maybe if it's not tomorrow, I'll do it Thursday, guys. And I'll maybe do that. I'll do that review on the Jimmy Savile thing, the Reckoning and catch Scotch. Yeah, yeah. I'll be sipping in the orange, and maybe I'll put a little vodka in the orange. But just gonna have just chill out, enjoy the rest of what's left of this evening. So you guys take it easy. Thanks for coming on, and I'll see you either Wednesday, Thursday. So thanks, guys. Good night.